brought to you by South Infertility and IVF.
Welcome to another episode of Conceive. We are having the series of Conceive episodes to look the various factors of infertility and all the aspects of infertility. I'm sure that you've all gone and done a little bit of homework as I said last week, that to evaluate and analyze what are the things happening in your daily life. Okay, now in this episode, what we'll look into is the effect of food and diet on infertility. Especially, I'm going to do this only on male infertility. See, for a fertilization to happen, you need a healthy sperm and a healthy egg, and you need to have a very healthy sperm so that it produces a normal embryo. Okay, so we know that in order to form a healthy sperm, to have a healthy embryo and baby, we need to have a lot of nutrients. And we have all had a biology lessons in school, and we know about carbohydrates, proteins and vitamins, fats and all that stuff. So what exactly happens in the field of fertility? For the sperms to be in a normal, healthy shape and to be moving and to form normally, there are a lot of nutrients which are required. Vitamins like vitamin C and other vitamin B complex are actually essential for the formation of sperm normally. So what happens in our diet and daily cooking? See, there are vitamins which are fat soluble and there are vitamins which are water soluble. So in the process of cooking, many of the vitamins which are water soluble can get lost. Especially vitamin C is a particular vitamin which get lost in the form of cooking. So you get that particular vitamin only from raw food like raw vegetables in the form of salad and those fruits which are rich in vitamin C. So what about the other vitamins? The other vitamins which are fat soluble can get lost if a particular foodstuff is fried, because it will get dissolved in the oil and you are actually picking up only the foodstuff and not using the oil sometimes when it's fried. So in order to have a very healthy dose of vitamins, the best diet would be to use a lot of raw vegetables, salads and fruits. When you hear salads, people go, oh, salads, I can't eat that. Like, people are so used to having, cooked masala, fried food. It's very difficult to even think about salads. But if you get used to having salads, and if you're used to having salads in a tasty way, you can get used to having salads and enjoy it. The basic reason why we are not able to enjoy salads and raw food is because our brain is not used to it. What happens is that our taste buds and our brain development happens in the initial years. That means in the initial 4 to 5 years of childhood. So if a child, especially if you're talking about an Indian scenario, if we give a child raw vegetables and salads in the young age, like when they start eating in the age of 1 year, 2 year, if you start giving them finger foods instead of just giving them rice and fried items and non-vegetarian food, if you start giving them finger foods like a piece of carrot, a piece of cucumber when the baby is walking around, they will actually develop the taste in the brain to enjoy the salad. So if you keep saying that, oh, my son doesn't eat that, my daughter doesn't eat this, the fault is actually with the mother and not with the child, because we are conditioned and we are adaptable. The human beings are adaptable. So if you have been brought up with vegetables and salads, your child will not say that it will not have that particular food. So the fault is actually with the parents. So you can do a lot of difference by making a level in the education. So in the school curriculum, if you actually introduce healthy diet, which is very much lacking now, there will be a higher level of education in the mothers, and what happens is that they will make a difference in the diet of their children. So when the children grow up, then they will start eating a healthy diet. So this has to be started very, very early. And then, in order to make it more pleasant and more edible, what you can do is that if you can use different colorful veggies, and it will look, if it is cut in a nice way, and it will look more attractive, and you can add a few things to make it tasty, like you can add a little bit of sour taste and a little bit of sweet taste and a little bit of nuts, then the salads are actually going to be more attractive than the actually cooked food. And many of the European countries now have actually shifted that, many of them actually started eating salads regularly as their normal diet. They have actually stopped eating a lot of cooked food, especially fried food. So you can actually go on a diet where you take 60 to 80% of your food in the raw form, and in that way these raw foods will have more amount of vitamins, there will be more nutrients, there will be more amount of fiber, and all these material which will get lost in the form of cooking will be preserved. There is an added advantage that in the process of cooking, what happens is that in addition to the loss of vitamins and the change of formation, there is always formation of free radicals and oxidants if the food is fried. So these material like superoxides and radicals are very harmful to health, especially for the health of the male fertility, because these level of free radical and superoxides, what you find in the research, I found that in the seminal fluid, they actually cause infertility. So the reduction of free radical and superoxides are usually very well done by the antioxidants. So what are antioxidants? See, many of our food have antioxidants in a very high level, which will help reducing the effect of these things. So which are the food which are rich in antioxidants? Many of the fruits, and especially the Indian turmeric and things like Indian gooseberry or amla as we call it, we don't even actually look at it like a medicine. But in fact, now recently it has shown that the Indian gooseberry or the amla, the country variety, has 2000 times more antioxidants than most of the antioxidants now found in the world.
Southend Fertility and IVF, where hope meets happiness. Established in 2001 and guided by care, ethics and expertise, Southend has completed over 10,000 ART cycles. It offers comprehensive infertility treatment for both men and women. Modern facilities and experienced team is the hallmark of Southend. The centers are at Vasant Vihar, Gurgaon, Saket, Paschim Vihar and Amritsar. Southend Fertility and IVF.
This program is brought to you by Southend Fertility and IVF.
Actually, in fact, the Australia, the people are so fond of this now that they would spend any amount of money to get Indian gooseberry. But we actually, in our own country in India, people don't recognize the effect of the Indian gooseberry, and people go for all foreign stuff. They go for having olives and other imported stuff, and actually they don't have Indian gooseberry, which is one of the best antioxidants and the best medicine for male subfertility. So this is about antioxidants and superoxides and all that stuff. So when you look at the other aspects of diet, we talked about raw food and salads and all that. What are the other things that we can take care of? There are other trace elements which are required in the development of sperm, like zinc and selenium, which are required in a very, very small amount. But if it is missing, the function of the sperm can be affected. And of course, there is omega-3 fatty acid and other essential fatty acids. So the fish, which is a very good source of all these elements, can be taken in a moderate amount. So when you talk about fish, there is a very important side effect or a bad effect of having fish, which is a high mercury level. In fact, in America, the FDA has actually brought down a rule that the amount of fish consumption has to be regulated, especially in women who are trying for a pregnancy or in children. So what they have done is they have categorized fish into 3 different types. One is a very high level of mercury fish, the other one is high, and the third one would be low level mercury. So what they advise is that you should take only a fixed amount of fish per week or per month, and that to take fish which are low in mercury. There was a study conducted on IVF patients to see whether the mercury has any bad effect on fertility. And what they found is that all the men and women who came for IVF has higher level of mercury in their blood compared to the other people. So it is a clear coordination that high level of mercury can cause infertility. So the advice is to keep taking seafood which are low in mercury. Some of the fish, like small fish like sardines, prawns, clam, and the other smaller varieties like anchovies have low level of mercury, and they are low in cost, and it is freely available most of the places. But the fish, like a big fish like tuna, shark, or even cod, sea bass, etc., they actually have a high level of mercury. So ideally they should be avoided or taken in a very small portion and rarely. And even the small fish should be taken only in a limited amount and not endlessly, because these mercury will get collected in the body and it will be causing subfertility and other issues. When you talk about diet, you can always try to include whole grain items rather than processed items. Like you can use whole wheat in the bread or in making rotis, etc. The amount of fiber which the whole grain has is very helpful for the health, and also it has a lot of vitamins which will get lost in the process of making it purified. And another thing is that these days children are treated with a lot of bakery items, like parents think that they are making them happy by buying them chocolates, ice creams, pastries, cakes, etc., etc. And you can't even think about a birthday without a cake. But what actually these things do to the children? Are you being a good parent by buying all these things to make them happy? The thing is that for getting a moment of happiness, you're actually making a lot of harmful effect on the child by doing all these things. So it's very difficult to avoid all these things completely, but it is my very humble request to all the parents, please do not feed the children with all these junks. You are making their life miserable by doing this. Just because they're happy when they have a chocolate, it doesn't mean that it is good for them. Or if they're having a big cake for their birthday, you're not doing any favor to them by doing that. So, you can try and reduce the amount of things you buy for them. Especially, don't use too much of cheese and too much of milk products. See, now people don't know where all these things are coming from. If you look at all the components in a deeper way, you can see that, like if you take a cake, what is there in a cake? 1/3 sugar, 1/3 fat. So, what is the nutrient in a cake? It is nothing but these things are all empty calories. The calorie content is very high, so that itself is very bad for a child. But the nutrient is zero, there is no vitamin in that. The amount of protein is really negligible. So what happens is that there is less amount of nutrients, vitamins and protein, and there is a very high amount of sugar and what we call as empty calories in all these stuff, especially in cakes and in biscuits. So you have to avoid using these as a snack regularly, and use it in a very rare occasion in a very moderate amount, so that you are basically getting your children to become having a healthy habit from childhood, which they will carry on as an adult. So you can't stop having them already if they are used to it. So it is actually good for a parent to say, no, you can't have it, or no, you should not take this. This is not good for you, it is bad for you. So you take only little bit, don't take too much. Once in a while, if they want, they can have it. But the harmful effects really have to be informed to them, so they don't take it in a large amount. And you can see how the children in the urban cities are looking now. Most of the children are obese, they are not active. So what happens is that the spermiogenesis or the sperm production as they go into their adulthood is going to be very badly affected. And they are all going to end up in having infertility treatments and infertility clinics, and spend all the money that they earn from whatever they earn, they end up in spending in IVF clinics. Do they really have to do that? The first thing is they don't have to earn that much doing an office job and lead a healthy life. They probably will have a healthy family.
Southend Fertility and IVF, where hope meets happiness. Established in 2001 and guided by care, ethics and expertise, Southend has completed over 10,000 ART cycles. It offers comprehensive infertility treatment for both men and women. Modern facilities and experienced team is the hallmark of Southend. The centers are at Vasant Vihar, Gurgaon, Saket, Paschim Vihar and Amritsar. Southend Fertility and IVF.
This program is brought to you by Southend Fertility and IVF.
So what we need to do is, we need to educate, as I said earlier again, about what is healthy and what is not healthy. And a good government should actually ban all these things which are not good for them. Actually, it is very commendable that the state in India called Kerala, they have actually banned alcohol in many places. I don't think this will happen anywhere in the world. How toxic that particular thing is for health. People should recognize that. Actually, bakery foods are much more harmful than all these things and should be taken in a very moderate amount. The mothers should understand that primarily and make a change in their lives. So when you talked about bakery items and cakes, that is empty calorie. What other things in the food? So the other thing is that processed foods, or fried foods. Processed foods like, whatever, even you look at any small shop in any nook and corner of the world, you'll see a lot of packets hanging, plastic packets hanging in the form of lot of fries and other things. And you also find that you go to a supermarket, it's all kept there. So what is happening? When you see them, you feel like buying them. So you don't actually go to a shop to buy what you really want for your home. You go there, you see everything is kept nicely, and you end up buying many things which is not only needed for you, but it is actually harmful for you. In the process of getting a food into a processed food, most of the nutrients are getting lost, and there is a formation of what we call trans fat. So what happens is that trans fat is very bad for the human body. So you end up losing all the nutrients and getting a lot of waste material, which are not only bad for your fertility, it will make you diabetic, your cholesterol will go up, you're going to end up having a lot of heart attacks and a lot of other problems. And there is a reduced activity also, because you are getting hooked on to food which are going to make you feel very clumsy. So the metabolism of the body is reduced drastically, and that is the reason why you see these children sitting on a sofa, not moving from there and playing with their whatever games and all those things, because their metabolism is reduced, they cannot move. So what are we creating now? We are creating a generation of people who are obese and who cannot move and who are not fertile. This is not good. So we have to realize that the mothers or the parents have to cut short. See, for an adult to become fertile, it has to start from the childhood. So I would like to send off a message that please, you have to make changes in your daily life, and it is possible. See, you can say that what will I give to the child if he's hungry in between, he wants a break, what will I give? You give them nuts. The nuts like badam, cashew, pista and all the dried fruits, they are very rich in many things like vitamin E and lot of essential fatty acid. So these are very good, but that again has to be in moderation. The dried fruits of nuts, what we give or what we intake should be less than 5 in a day. So you can't take that also in excess, it has to be in moderation, but nuts are very good for male fertility. The other things what you can give them as a snack is a fruit. They can carry an apple or a banana or anything which is available as a snack. They don't have to necessarily carry a biscuit as a snack. So these kind of changes will make a huge difference. The fruits are very high in vitamins and it is very hydrating. There is a lot of amount of water in a fruit. So it is very helpful to hydrate an individual. See, what happens is that when you are having lot of fast foods or non-vegetarian food or other foods which are processed, it is taking all the water from your body and it is dehydrating the body. So you need to take food which have lot of hydration. That means lot of fruits. So the fruits will have lot of vitamins, especially the fruits rich are in vitamin C. And there's a particular fruit which is watermelon and tomatoes. They are very rich in lycopene. Lycopene is a particular substance which is found in high levels in watermelon and tomato and other red fruits. So this material has actually shown to make a marked difference in the function of the sperm. So when we give medicines for male infertility, we write some tablets and capsule having lycopene. So instead of taking the tablet, you can actually have a tomato and watermelon. So it's very good to have fruits like those to especially people who are trying to conceive and who have difficulty. These days you hear a lot about usage of chemicals in food. So what is happening is that the amount of insecticides and fertilizers which are used in a farm has been going up a lot, and now a lot of studies are being done to find the effect of these things on fertility. It has been proven that most of the chemicals that we use in our farms are actually very bad for fertility. So what happens is that these chemicals which are added can make a change in the genetic material of the sperms or the eggs, and then it can end up in having abnormal children. So when we think about practically how you can address this issue, it is very, very difficult, because you have to go to a shop to buy things, and then what you get from the shop, there is no control over the things that they add in your food material. So only these problems can be addressed if governments take very strict rule and make sure that only limited amount of chemicals are used in the farm. And again, the other very simple solution what everybody at home can do is about home gardening. You can have a little bit of home terrace and have a small cultivation where you have homegrown vegetables. And especially if you have your own backyard and enough space, you can actually cultivate whatever food material you want in your own backyard without the use of any chemicals and fertilizers. You can use, obviously you can use organic fertilizers and chemicals, but not the other one, so that you can reduce the amount of chemicals that you pollute in your food. In conclusion, let's just hope that we make a change. Okay, let's just go out and get those saplings and start gardening, and let's just get all those vegetables and fruits and improve our diet with a lot of salads and raw vegetables. Let's just add a few nuts to those salads and reduce the amount of all the bakery stuff like cakes, pastries, biscuits. Stop frying and just try and eat very lightly cooked food or raw vegetables and salad, and reduce the amount of seafood and stop taking seafoods with have high level of mercury. Okay, so I just hope that you take all these message home and make a little bit change in your diet, so you make your children healthy, you make your family healthy, and you're all fertile.
This program is brought to you by South Infertility and IVF.
South End Fertility and IVF, where hope meets happiness. Established in 2001 and guided by care, ethics and expertise, South End has completed over 10,000 ART cycles. It offers comprehensive infertility treatment for both men and women. Modern facilities and experienced team is the hallmark of South End. The centers are at Vasant Vihar, Gurgaon, Saket, Paschim Vihar and Amritsar. South End Fertility and IVF,